guys, I hope you're all doing well. Today I thought I'd take some time out and film a party makeup for you all. Now we're going into the festive season. I've been doing lots of shopping on Look Fantastic lately, and I also have a 20% off code for you all. So I thought I'd go through some of my favourite products and brands that I've been using at Look Fantastic, skincare as well as makeup, and I'm going to show you exactly how I created this party makeup look. As you can see, I've already done one eye off camera. This is just so I can speed up the filming process a little bit. But today I'm going to be using the Mophe Jaclyn Hill palette. This has got some really lovely bold colours in there. So I'll just open it up so you can see. I'm going to be using these really lovely plummy tones, which I just thought was absolutely perfect for the festive season. Before I apply any eyeshadow, I am just prepping my eyes with a little bit of the MAC Prolongwear Paintpot. And this is in the shade Soft Ochre. This just makes a really lovely eyeshadow base, so it's really going to help prevent the eyeshadow from creasing, and it's going to help the shadow stay on a lot longer through the day. I'm starting off with the shade Perfectionist and sweeping this right the way through the crease. I'm taking it a little bit higher because my eyes are hooded, so this will really help lift my eye area. And this makes a really lovely transition shade because it's quite soft, so it will give all the other colours something to blend into, and you're going to get that really lovely like gradual gradient effect. Now I'm going in with a really lovely plummy shade. This one's called Oh Hello, and I'm using a smaller blending brush this time because I feel like I've got a little bit more control then, and I'm going to focus this a little bit more on the lower part of my eye. So I'm still taking it above my crease again to really help lift my eyes up more, but I'm just not going quite as high as that first shade that I used. I'm adding in shade number 3 now, so this is another deep plum, but it's darker than the second colour that we used. So it's going to just start smoking out those edges and just adding some depth where I want it. So I'm just focusing it a little bit more on the outer edge rather than dragging it right through. Sometimes I find if I go all the way in with darker colours, it closes up my eyes a little bit more. So I like to focus the really darker shades more so on the outer edge. Now, if you're like me and you want your eyes really, really dark, smoky, you could then just add in a little bit of black. I tend to run this right down on my lash line, so I'm getting as close to my lashes as possible, and then I'll just buff it out a little bit so it blends into the rest of the eyeshadow. For the final shade, I am using the MAC 229, which is a little bit more of a flat brush, so great for packing on any shimmery textured eyeshadows. And I'm taking this just over halfway, and I always love to switch back to a buffing brush just to softly blend in those edges. Last time I done my shop at Look Fantastic, I really wanted to try some new brands that I've never tried before. So I came across this brand called Wet n Wild, and I purchased one of these Kohl pencils, which was only $1.99. So I wasn't expecting anything amazing, obviously being only $1.99. I thought I'll give it a shot and see what it's like, and actually I was really impressed. I find having hooded eyes, a lot of eyeliners, eye pencils, mascaras smudge on me really, really easily, but I've worn this a few times and I've worn it all day for work as well, and it has not budged. It's also really black and glides on really well. It's nice in the waterline as well. So this is what I'm going to be using today. First of all, I'm just going to line the top of my eyes, and if you've got quite a small lid space, make sure that you're not going in too heavy and too thick with your liner. I'm running the pencil right underneath my lashes as well because I always feel like this makes my eyes look a lot bigger. I'm now using the MAC 219 brush, which is kind of like in the shape of a pencil, and it really helps just smudge and buff out all of that eyeliner. I have just quickly cleansed my skin because I had a lot of eyeshadow fallout, and also I had some old concealer left on from this morning when I'd done my school run. But next I'm going to be using the Loreal Hydrogenous Aloe Water. Now this moisturiser is really lovely. It actually feels like a serum but acts like a hydrating cream, so it sinks really nicely into the skin, which makes it amazing before applying makeup. I always use this on my clients before I do their makeup application, and guaranteed every single time my clients will ask me what it is, where I've got it from, and they always comment on how lovely it smells as well. Coming into the colder months, I know some of you might be suffering with more dry skin. My skin is slightly on the drier side, so I picked up a couple of new products. This cleanser is really good if you've got dry skin. It's got hyaluronic acid in there, and I find it really helps my skin feel soft. And also I've been using the Weleda Skin Food. This is incredible if you have got really dry skin. So my skin gets super dry around my nose, so before bed I tend to use this like a little bit more on my nose or any dry areas. It's super rich, it smells amazing, and it really does help your skin feel super nourished and moisturised. So I would definitely recommend these. I found my skin hasn't been quite as dry this year using both of these. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Loreal Infailable, and considering this is only $9.99, I would say this is a pretty damn good foundation. I would actually pick this over some of my higher end foundations in my kit, and it's super long wearing. If you ever read up on this foundation, it does claim it's a medium to full coverage, but in my personal opinion, comparing it to some of the other brands that I've got in my kit, I would say it's a little bit more of a medium coverage. It does cover well, but I wouldn't say it feels as heavy and looks as thick as maybe some of the other foundations that I've got in my kit. This foundation's pretty buildable as well, which is nice, because if you are going out and you want that little bit more coverage, it does kind of allow you to layer it up a little bit, but without feeling like too heavy and too cakey. I think that's why I love it so much, because it doesn't feel like you've got loads of makeup on. I also find this absolutely does not budge through the day. And I mean, I know my skin is dry, so things do tend to stay on pretty well anyway, but I have noticed in the past I've had foundations that have maybe come off or gone a little bit patchy through the day, where this one doesn't do that at all. Like by the end of the day, my foundation pretty much still looks absolutely perfect. I'm just using the MAC Studio Fix concealer for underneath my eyes. Now this is a really good coverage concealer anyway, so I don't like to apply too much. But what I'm seeing a lot on Instagram lately is makeup artists and beauty influencers putting so much concealer underneath their eyes. And I just feel like it is just not needed at all. I'm a big believer in less is more. And if you put a lot of concealer underneath your eyes, it will often settle in any lines, any wrinkles that you might have, and it's going to make you look a lot older and just pick up on any texture underneath the eye area. So I just like to do a few little dots, just blend it in with a nice fluffy brush, and because it's quite a good coverage anyway, it's going to cover any darkness that I've got underneath my eyes. If you are quite dark under your eyes, you could always add in like a colour corrector as well instead, just to help neutralise any dark areas. I am now just setting all of my makeup with a bit of the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish. This powder, I've been using it for years. I don't think I'll ever change setting powders, but I love how it gives a little bit of a satin finish. So with having dry skin as well, you know, you don't want anything too mattifying. So it just takes that shine away a little bit, but still keeps my skin looking nice and glowy at the same time. To contour, I'm going to be using the Pixi Beauty Shape Shifting palette. This has got a few really nice contour colours in there, but also got some highlighter shades as well. And I use this middle colour, this beautiful gold, on my eyes like all the time. It makes the nicest eyeshadow colour ever. The contour shade that I'm using is called Kathmandu, so it's a really lovely matte kind of bronzy toned contour. So it's really nice if you want a little bit of a sun-kissed look as well. And when I'm contouring my cheeks, I always buff upwards just to help lift my face a little bit more. I always do round the edges of my forehead just to give me a little bit of colour and so I don't look so pale at this time of year. For blusher, I'm going to use this pink here in the Pixi Beauty Quad. I'm going to use the blusher more on the apples of my cheeks, and because this shade's a lovely pink tone, I think it ties in with the eyes really nicely. One of my favourite highlighters at the moment is actually this shade here in the palette. It's a really lovely rose gold, and I feel like it just really complements every skin tone. I'm using this on the highest points of my cheekbones to give my skin that beautiful glow. This is another Morphe brush. I will link all the products down below. And to finish this look off, I'm going to be using the Barry M Lip Liner in Toast. This is another really affordable product. I think it's only about £3. And I always pair this with MAC Honey Love lipstick. It's like the perfect nude combo. I'm going to very, very slightly overdraw my lips just to give them a little bit of a fuller look. This is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed watching this party makeup tutorial, and don't forget, if you do shop at Look Fantastic, you can use my 20% off code every single time you shop. I will link the code down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.